We need to talk about how the L-mount system has a serious cinema camera problem. What's up? My name's Cardi. I'm a photographer and director based in New York City, and I am an L-mount shooter. So I'm currently shooting this on the Lumix S5 II with the Sigma 16 to 28mm, and I have an S5 IIX rigged up here in this Cineback style rig with a V-mount system and a matte box and a top panel and everything. This is essentially my cinema camera. Disclosure time. This video is not sponsored. I do have to disclose that Lumix did send me an S5 II during part of their launch series in 2023, but I do not have a continued relationship with the company, unless you guys want to email me back and, send me a new camera. But I don't have a relationship with them, and all my thoughts and opinions are my own in this video. I bought this second S5 IIX with my own money, so I'm invested in the system. I bought all the lenses on my own. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm a working professional. This is not sponsored. Also, if you enjoyed this video or thought that it was valuable at all, please leave a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I'm making a big push for YouTube this year, and I would really appreciate it. It just lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. Okay, that's enough waffling. Back to the L-mount. So when I say that the L-mount has a cinema camera problem, I am curious to think what first comes to your mind. Some people might think that it's because we don't have an FX line. There's no FX6, FX3, FX30. Other people might say that we don't have a C80 or a C70 or a C400. And then there are going to be the weirdos that are like, there's no Venice, there's no Arri Alexa. I think we can leave those cameras out of this discussion. So if we have waveform, if we have external RAW, if we have great recording formats, recording to SSD, if we have really good outputs and inputs and good cooling systems inside of the Lumix cameras, how come we don't have an L-mount cinema camera? Well, the truth is that our problem is not that we don't have a cinema camera. The problem is that the Pixus 12K has not yet arrived. The way I think things are going to shake out is that the L-mount cinema camera system is really hinging on the success of the Pixus 12K. If that thing comes with autofocus, if it has an incredible reception, if a lot of people buy it, if there is interest in an L-mount box style camera and it sells like hotcakes, I feel like other manufacturers are going to take notice. Now, that's not to say that I am not impressed with the current offerings from Lumix. Obviously, the S1R2 and the S1 II are incredible video cameras. You could check out the Cine-D and the CVP latitude tests and the dynamic range tests for the Lumix S1 II, especially in DR boost mode. I mean, oh my god, it matches an Arri Alexa LF. But unfortunately, no matter how good these cameras are, it always comes up that these are hybrid body cameras. None of them are purpose-built for cinema use. We don't have SDI outputs, we don't have gen lock, we don't have time code. There's a lot of things missing inside of these cameras that prevent them from being used in larger sets. Do I think that that's an issue? For my work, I'm an owner-operator, I shoot my own cameras and I use my own systems, so it doesn't really affect me, but I know plenty of people on the Canon system and the Sony system just because of those inputs and outputs. Now, I don't know why I feel like I need to defend myself already, but I have the Sony FX30. This is my C-cam. I use this on sets where people are like, do you have a Sony FX3 or like something like that? And they want the Sony look, which is much more over-sharpened than my other cameras. So I bring this on set with me. People see the gray body, they see the lack of a viewfinder, they see the top panel, they see like the boxy shape, and they're like, perfect. That's a cinema camera, this person knows what they're doing. Why is that the case? If I bring this on set, people are like, whoa, look at this professional. But this is just a rigged up hybrid body. So I think that optics are important on set. Obviously, bringing this on set and people see it and they're like, whoa, that looks like a cinema camera, that's important to some people. That's actually important to a lot of people. This camera doesn't have SDI, this camera doesn't have a bunch of the features that my S5 II has, but it's still a really good camera and I get plenty of great images out of it. But I feel like we shouldn't have to rig up our hybrid cameras into this cinema-style body to solve a problem that could easily be solved by the manufacturer. Charge a premium price. Give us a box-style, riggable, SDI, timecode, genlock camera. Put the sensor from the S1R2 or the S1 II inside of that body. Add an incredible cooling system so there's no overheating. Bring down those rolling shutter times because you have more processing power in the space. Give us 2 slots for CF Express B. I mean, while we're asking for things, I would love internal B-RAW, but that's probably not going to happen. Maybe. Almost everything that I just described is going to come on the Pixus 12K. So that's really a make or break camera for the system. In terms of photography, the L-mount system is as competent as any other system. I love the lenses, I love the photography experience. In terms of the hybrid experience, it's unbeatable. It's currently the best hybrid cameras on the market. But we need serious video cameras for serious video shooters. I don't want to have to justify my place on set with an L-mount camera because it's not a Sony. I want to show up with a Pixus 12K and for people to be like, wow, a 12K. That thing has everything you could ever want in a camera. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. There's plenty of people who have been asking for years for a refresh of the EVA 1 from Panasonic. And then we got those really strange cameras with the B-S1H and the B-S5 II, or whatever those sort of box style cameras that Panasonic launched. Those are not usable. They don't have a screen and there's no good input and output. Those are like live streaming cameras. I see those cameras on broadcast for esports, and they're fine cameras. They're the same sensor in the S5 II, and they're used and they're great. I want something that people go wow at, you know? I want people to look at my camera like they look at a Barana, like frothing at the mouth, foaming at the mouth. And I know it might seem like a superficial thing, but if we're professionals, we should look like professionals. It shouldn't be a question as to whether you're a professional or not when you show up on set. So does the L-mount system have a cinema camera problem? Well, until Lumix, Sigma, or Leica launch a box-style body with SDI, we do. That's the video. Those are my thoughts. If you want to see a rig breakdown of this S5 IIX build with the matte box and, you know, everything, let me know. I could make one of those videos and disassemble this whole thing. Also, let me know in the comments what camera you're rocking, if you have a C400, if you have the Pixis 6K, if you're on L-mount and you want a cinema camera, or if you think that the hybrid bodies are just fine. Maybe we don't need box style cameras. We do, but maybe we don't. Maybe some people just don't need them. Maybe there's no demand and people who want a cinema body should just go to Sony or Canon. Either way, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. We need to talk about how the L-mount system has a serious cinema camera problem. Say that 10 times fast.